As a local official, I'm very frustrated with the Ohio primacy process here, and looking at what's going on in the surrounding states and looking at the standards on an issue like this that should be equal. Primacy was designed to let states be more stringent rather than less stringent than the national standard. And when you look at the fact that in Ohio, wells get permitted very quickly, they are very slow to be enforced for compliance and closed down properly. It all stems from a lot of underfunding at the state level. And you look at the way the Ohio tax structure has been changed to be favorable to the oil and gas business as opposed to the enforcement business, that is a problem. And when you see why we get more injection waste here, the data has been presented a number of different times as to the amount of volume of waste that comes here. Why is it cheaper to truck waste from Pennsylvania and West Virginia into Ohio? The cost of trucking today is very expensive. And so when you look at the fact that if you had an injection well in an area where this is taking place, it should be done there, not shipped to another state. But because it's cheaper to permit and operate here, that seems to be a problem. It's one that should be changed, and a good reason why the primacy should be taken back as it comes to the regulation of these wells. Time to permit is faster in Ohio. The people will argue that that's an efficiency that's coming from Ohio doing it themselves. I think that's really not the answer. I think it's a shortcut of steps and process. When you said that, we held the public hearing, that's because ODNR doesn't hold the public hearings. If the local people want to make complaints, they just fall on deaf ears. We tried to get the law changed in Ohio. The County Commissioners Association did, to require that these hearings be held when a local body of elected officials request it. And we couldn't even get that done. It was shut down by the oil and gas industry. So the process needs to get changed. It needs to be more sensitive to the local environment. When you look at the Ginsburg well in our county and what a tragedy that's been, and such a fiasco over the years, where it's been cited for violations, then been given so much time to comply, the compliance doesn't take place, it's still in violation. And so it goes on for years and years, and each time it rains, you get pollution that comes out. So it's a problem of doing the process correctly, quickly, and efficiently, and that isn't happening in Ohio because it's neglecting the environment at the expense of the people that are living there, and allowing for oil and gas businesses to take care of distributing their waste from other states into our state. One of the biggest things that you look at is the protection of our local resources, especially when it comes to water. And the injection wells, we really can't determine. It's going to be a long time before we can determine how far those injection wastes are traveling and moving along, if they're being contained in the actual places they're injected, or they're actually moving into our aquifers. And that's going to be a long time study that's going to have to take place. And the funding isn't there to do those sorts of things. So they're asking for other people to do it rather than ODNR regulating it and doing it the way they should be doing it. So when you look at all the factors combined, it really points to the fact that this should be taken back by the US EPA and not allow Ohio to do primacy in this case.